I want to start this video off by saying that I do strongly believe that there is a lack of opportunity in Hollywood. And that goes for women, so on and so forth. There is a lack of opportunity if you're not a white male. I do strongly believe that, and I do agree with the Black Lives Matter activists that there is a lack of opportunity for black actors and actresses. And I do agree with feminists that there is a lack of opportunity for actresses in Hollywood. I do agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. So this video isn't belittling the women who are in the Ghostbusters film. I have no problem with the casting. In fact, I thought the all-female cast was overall a good idea, and I do think that there should be more all-female cast films of women of all races and all ethnicity backgrounds, because there happens to be more all-male films of all races and ethnicity backgrounds than there are all-female films. There is that lack, I do agree. But like I said, I'll repeat again, this video is not to belittle the women who are in the Ghostbusters film. This video is to analyze the overall problem, or the possibility of the overall problem that shows in the Ghostbusters trailer. Now that I got that disclaimer out of the way, let's go on to the content of this video. Now, I love the original Ghostbusters film just like anyone else. It is on my top 10 list of favorite comedies. It's number 10. It is in, a film that I'm dying to see if I need a laugh. No, there's other films I'll go to if I need a laugh first. Caddyshack is definitely number 5 on my list of top 10 comedies. I'll watch Caddyshack before Ghostbusters, but the point is, though, Ghostbusters is so iconic that when the movie came out, and it'll be 32 years ago this year, when this film came out, it was different from all the other films that came out during the time. Because it was a film that not only touched on the silliness of paranormal investigating teams, but it also had brilliant sex humor in it that was brilliantly disguised, that kids wouldn't get the reference, but adults would. But overall, it was a family fun film that was made, and it had its time, and it left a place in cinematic history that will never be erased. Now, 32 years later, Paul Feig wants to remake Ghostbusters with an all-female cast. Fine. People who are for women's rights, like me and millions of other people in this country, have no problem with the casting. We just have a problem with the way the movie looks based on the film's writing staff. The writing staff of this new Ghostbusters film, I don't think they took into consideration the impact the original had. Because the writing of this movie, and I have to quote Andre the Black Nerd here, when he said, "It's the characters that made the original funny. My fear is that this movie is just gonna try to make jokes throughout the whole thing and not have any real character development." And I think Andre the Black Nerd is right. Because that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a film where they just have, either physical comedy or practical comedy to get a laugh out of people, instead of building a smart script that people can get the jokes through the characters or the situations that are happening in the movie. And I think that's where this film is going to lack, is that there's going to be no story development or no character development, so the story or the character development isn't going to make the film funny. That I think they just put together a sloppy mess of bad jokes and bad writing just to get a laugh out of people. Now, to go back to the characters making the movie funny, in the original, Dan Aykroyd wasn't being Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray wasn't being Bill Murray, and Harold Ramis wasn't being Harold Ramis. I could go on. The people who were in the original movie weren't being themselves, they were being a character. But in this one, you could kind of tell a lot of people in the movie are just going to be themselves and not a character. Leslie Jones is going to be Leslie Jones. Melissa McCarthy is going to be Melissa McCarthy. And Kristen Wiig is going to be Kristen Wiig. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They aren't going to they probably didn't even put any effort into building a character for these three women. Now, Kate McKinnon, she might save the film from epic failure at the box office. She might just be this film's only saving grace because she doesn't appear in the trailer to be herself. In fact, on SNL, I think she is one of the most popular cast members out of the new cast members because every time she's in a character, she's in a character. You can't tell Kate McKinnon's being Kate McKinnon. But that's why I think the film's going to lack with the other three women in the film and with the other characters as well. I think it's going to lack character development. And also, here's the other issue that a lot of us Ghostbusters fans have with the trailer of this so-called new and improved Ghostbusters. It kind of feels rushed at the same time, making no reference to the original movie. And there's no pictures that they show in the trailer of Dan Aykroyd and the rest of the guys taking out Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or anything like that. There's no reference to them in the trailer. So that kind of says that they probably won't have any cameo appearances in this film, which is really worrisome. Because if you say 30 years ago, okay, what? Are you just using that as a hook to get people to watch, to see them, to waste money, pretty much, to see Bill Murray or them on the screen again? I mean, there seems to be no hope of a cameo appearances for either of the three remaining guys who are still alive. And that's where I think this film is ultimately going to be bad at, is the fact that probably wasn't thought through enough, and the script was probably hurried to be written, and it feels as though they put more time and effort into building a set that feels nostalgic instead of a script that would resonate with the Ghostbusters fans as saying, this isn't the original, but it's as funny as the original. No, there's probably no good writing to it. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's a sloppy mess, but I could be wrong. Kate McKinnon could save this movie from ultimate failure, but that isn't a strong hope either. Because with Ghostbusters, you need the four of them to have a good on-screen chemistry, but if one of them is going to have character development and the other three aren't, you ultimately have a box office bomb on your hands. I don't know, that's just my opinion. That's just my analyst, my analyzation of the trailer. I definitely won't see the movie out in theaters, because I know in these cases, if a film is built like an SNL film, it has little to no audience.